Jonathan Lee Riches investigates. We are going to talk about these two hoaxsters, these two liars, Sherri Papini and Carlee Russell. Sherri Papini, seen here, she just got released out of the halfway house 8 months early. She got 18 months for a fake kidnapping hoax. Remember when she blamed two Mexican females for kidnapping her? Yeah, Carlee Russell too. It reminds me of Carlee Russell blaming a white guy for a fake kidnapping. That's not true. Well, Sherri just got released from her halfway house. She's done. She has to serve some time on supervised release. Let me give you this report here. And then we're going to talk about Sherri and we're going to talk about Carlee Russell. Check it out. Sherri Papini leaves halfway house, finishes incarceration 8 months early after fake kidnapping. Papini was sentenced to 18 months in federal prison in September of 2022 for lying about being the victim of a violent abduction in November 2016. There she is. Papini, the California woman who made headlines for faking her own kidnapping in 2016, has been released from a halfway house. Papini, 41, was released on Friday, 8 months early in her 18-month prison sentence, according to the Federal Bureau of Prisons. She'd been under community confinement at a halfway house after being transferred in August from a satellite facility of the Federal Correctional Institution, Victorville Medium 1 in Victorville, California, according to CBS News. The Daily Mail obtained photos reportedly showing Papini leaving the halfway house. She will now remain on supervised release for 3 years. In 2016, the then 34-year-old wife and mother of two claimed to have been the victim of a violent abduction while she was out on a morning run in her Redding, California neighborhood. After her husband, Keith, reported her missing that evening, an extensive search was conducted. 21 days later, Papini was spotted by a passing motorist walking alongside a rural road near Sacramento, more than 150 miles from the site of her alleged kidnapping. She was bound with restraints at the time. Papini told authorities that she had managed to escape her captors, who she described as two Hispanic women. She said the women abducted her at gunpoint, forced her into the SUV. These Hispanic females are armed, considered dangerous, and they have a handgun, at least a handgun with them, Shasta County Sheriff Tom Busenko told reporters during a press conference at the time. However, by the following year, Papini's story quickly began to unravel as investigators turned up key evidence that contradicted her kidnapping claim. Charging documents released later in the investigation revealed that DNA evidence taken from the clothing Papini was wearing when she was found did not belong to her supposed female abductors. Instead, the DNA was matched to an offender related to an ex-boyfriend of Papini's. Investigators later pulled DNA from an iced tea bottle retrieved from the ex-boyfriend's trash. Upon being interviewed, the ex-boyfriend admitted to helping Papini run away because she alleged that her husband abused her. While her family believes she was missing, Papini was actually hiding out in her ex-boyfriend's Costa Mesa apartment. After 22 days off the radar, Papini told her former boyfriend she missed her children and wanted to go home. The ex-boyfriend told investigators Papini hit and burned herself to create injuries and asked him to drop her off along the side of the road where she was later discovered. April 12, 2022, Papini was charged with 1 count of making false statements to federal agents and 34 counts of mail fraud. She pleaded guilty. April 2022, admitted that her kidnapping claim was a completely fabricated hoax. 2 days later, her husband filed for divorce, claiming in the court filing obtained by People that the family was traumatized by the wife's disappearance and kidnapping hoax. Papini was sentenced to 18 months in prison, followed by 36 months of supervised release on September 19, 2022. She was also ordered to pay $309,000 in restitution for losses incurred during the search for her. Papini turned herself into authorities November 8th, 2022, to begin serving her sentence. During her trial, she told the courtroom she was deeply ashamed of her behavior and sorry for the pain she caused my family, my friends, and all the good people who needlessly suffered. I will work the rest of my life to make amends for what I've done. So she got out early. What do you think? She got out early. A lot of people are wondering about Carlee Russell because she just went to court the other day and they recommended a year, up to a year. 6 months on each count, 2 counts. Definitely less than Sherri. Do you think Carlee Russell should have got more or the same type of sentence that Sherri got? Sherri's a federal case. Carlee's is a state case, and we've heard from state legislatures from Alabama that want to change the laws to make the penalties higher. But if Carlee ends up doing a year, is she going to get out early like Sherri did? She going to get, and then also Sherri had to pay $300,000 in restitution. Carlee, I think they recommended like $17,000 and some change. And we saw all the people looking for Carlee, so why less than what Sherri had with Carlee? And notice that Sherri blamed 2 Mexican females, and Carlee blamed the white guy. Do you think there's some racism involved on either or? Like, do you think Carlee Russell is a racist? Do you think Sherri Papini's a racist? And you also notice that Sherri, because of this kidnapping incident, her husband filed for divorce against her, similar to Carlee's boyfriend, Mr. Timms, right? He said, well, I ain't with her no more. So there's consequences. But is Carlee Russell going to get a slap on the wrist similar to what Sherri got? I think Sherri got a slap on the wrist. Yes, she has to serve supervised release, and she could violate, but most likely not. And she also might be able to get early termination of that supervised release. What about Carlee Russell? She goes to the circuit court. The process starts all over again. The next go around, will she get less than that year recommendation? The judge sentenced her in municipal court, Hoover, to 1 year. But now it goes to, circuit court, another judge. Judge might give her 60 days, a month, maybe even no jail time. Do you think Carlee Russell deserves some jail time? Let me know what you think about Sherri Papini. A lot of resources. These females think they can just, make things up. There's consequences to it. And I asked Carlee and her family about, her actions at court, but zip, nothing. Doesn't seem like they have any remorse whatsoever. Wonder if Sherri has remorse. Have you been following the case? Let me know what you think. Subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button. Sherri Papini, Carlee Russell, 2 hoaxsters, kidnapping fake hoaxsters, and then they blame opposite races. Shame, 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 shame. We say no to that. We will talk soon. Stay tuned.